Gracias, Mr. Whitney. What's up, Brian? 200s? That's it? Oh man, I wish you gotten more. No, we definitely saw some more pockets, but yeah, Spring Branch should not get as much as West Bear County. For sure. David, have you seen F1 yet? Yes, you did. Oh, really? Yeah, my daughters both saw it. They really enjoyed it. They loved it. They told my wife, who can get car sick and those kind of things a little bit. Kendall was like, Mom, if you guys go, you're gonna have to take a Dramamine. Because it's like a lot of POV and a lot of great action, you know, that, yeah. Thank you, Drew. I appreciate that, brother. David here, now this is Facebook David now. I heard UPS is merging with a laxative company. They might want to change their slogan though. Oh no. I can't. Hey Rita, what's happening? Oh, good rain. Where are you? Hey Tara, see, a lot of spots got quite a bit of rainfall today. I'm going to show you some of those rain totals this evening for sure. Happy Monday. Bill Taylor here, Ken's 5 Digital Center. Monday night blessings to you and yours. David calling it tonight. Have a great evening, sir. Digital Ninja. David. Oh, I know. How about those Spurs? You like this signing? What is this kid's name? From Boston? He kind of reminded me of Steve Nash, like the first little picture of him I saw real quick. I was like, hey, kind of look like Steve Nash a little bit. The great David Lynch on his way out, by the way. Does great with movies. That's why I asked him about F1. Anybody else see F1? 2 of my 3 daughters saw it and they raved. They loved it. They loved it. Alamo Ranch. Oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely. You can see that sliver of green right along West Bear County. Alamo Ranch included in there for about 2 inches of rain today. So nice soakers out there. And it was steady it was a burst at first and then And then there was a good steady rain for several hours, 1.5 inches near Poteet, 2 inches near Pearsall, 1.5 inches down near Carrizo Springs, more than 2 in between Uvalde and Hondo, north of there. Only 1/4 inch at Medina Lake, unfortunately. Almost 2 inches out there at Kennedy, Carnes City, 1.5 inches near Cuero. But then look at Victoria. John Olson, if you're on tonight, more than 4 inches just outside of Victoria. Wind kicked up pretty good. So Tara, yeah, we did have a special weather statement. Nothing ever went severe, but some of the thunderstorms are producing winds on the range of 30 to 40 miles an hour, and that'll sometimes get us a special weather statement, which is when the National Weather Service says, look, we've got a couple of things we're watching with this storm. It'll be winds, it might even be some small hail that are under the criteria of a severe thunderstorm. So a severe thunderstorm is going to have wind gusts of 55 miles per hour or more. It's got to be at least 55. And then the hail has to be 1 inch in diameter, about the size of a quarter, before you start, again, saying severe thunderstorm warning or severe thunderstorm at all to qualify for that. So anything underneath that, and if you start getting winds around 30 to 40, maybe some marble-sized hail, you'll get a special weather statement for sure. Reminds me of Spurs. Will Purdue, yeah, that's pretty good. He had a pretty decent season last year, Nate was telling me, so. Drew was in the rim, suddenly saw dark clouds. Yeah, around 5 p.m. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Megan, good to see you. So here's the thing, we're not done yet. Let's take a look at some of the rain that did fall today. This is the last 6 hours, and again, that was that steady light rain afterwards. And you can see it moving across. That one, again, spot was western Bexar County for that good heavy rainfall. But look at the origin of this. It started really overnight last night. A couple of light sprinkles, mainly hill country, Bernie, and then this wave came in from the south. Now, this is in, I was going to say in association with, it's a little too formal, but this is the remnants of Barry. This is tropical moisture surging north off a decaying and the remnants of a tropical storm that made landfall south of Brownsville and is now just the remnants of Barry. It's just an area of low pressure. It's no longer a named storm, but it's now in central Mexico, and that moisture is going to continue to surge north over the next couple of days, keeping good rain chances in through about midday Wednesday. Even into Wednesday afternoon, there's going to be a chance. Now, we'll take a look at some models and put them side by side tonight. Tara said, always windy. Bigger gusts, not sustained at all, right? Appreciate you a few weeks ago when you were praying for the people of that tornado. Thank you, Drew. Yeah. It was really a scary situation because that hook echo was obvious on radar, and it was moving inside 1604 at Bandera Road. And that's such a densely populated area. As you start going down Bandera Road into Gilbo, Tezel, Leon Valley, you're talking about, neighborhood after neighborhood, house right next to house for miles. I mean, there's just so many people that live in that area. And it was at a time of night where, most were home and seeking shelter, but yeah, I just had to pray that the Lord would be sovereign and protect us in those moments. It's all when weather gets that strong and severe, that's all we've got. We've got to be smart and take shelter. But first and foremost, we've got to ask God to protect us. And he did. His glory. What's up, Anna? Will there be more rain tonight or tomorrow for Floresville? I think so, because everything's moving in from the south, so Floresville would get it before San Antonio and have even a better chance. Oh no, windows, that's not good. Yes, Kevin, amen to that, all the time. Does it ever affect your mood? Absolutely. So Jay Martin, there's been a lot of research that correlates low pressure and high pressure and people's moods and people's, kind of overall state. Now, physiologically, it can actually get severe where some people with a big pressure drop will suffer severe migraine headaches, or less than that, but sometimes can be pretty painful, is the joint pain that you get as well. And that's fluctuations in air pressure. We know this to be true, that it's how the animal kingdom knows of changes in the weather, knows that things are the animals will begin to behave differently or seek shelter themselves, because they'll know when a drop in air pressure means a change in the weather for sure. And so it has those effects. But then even on a scale of just mood, low pressure typically does just that. It kind of just gets you in the doldrums. High pressure, just the opposite. If you ask any kinder or elementary school teacher for that matter, when the kids are rambunctious and real high energy, you look outside and it's blue skies, there's not a cloud around, and there's high pressure in control, sinking air motion, higher pressure in the atmosphere, and kids typically respond in a big, rambunctious way when that kind of weather's in place. Daughter can confirm, winds make kids crazy. Yeah, see, Tara's a teacher, you know what I'm talking about, right? How do you feel when your predictions are always wrong? I don't know, because they're not always wrong. I get cramps when it's hot outside my workplace. Oh, see, exactly. I mean, any kind of, effect. I mean, the bones and the joints are big ones with air pressure. That's why pressure. Remember, high pressure is increasing. There's typically the atmosphere is putting about 11 pounds of pressure on your body any given day, any given moment of any given day. Your equilibrium. You're exerting the exact equal amount of pressure. That's why normally you don't feel it at all. But when high pressure is coming in, you don't feel those, joint pains and stuff, because tighter pressure is better. That's why you see athletes wearing compression sleeves, right? You compress and the blood flows better. It just helps. And so same principle. In the atmosphere, once low pressure takes over and things are looser, if you will, you can get that joint and cramp pain. Mid-70s since this afternoon, guys. We have not seen temperatures budge. Let me check the highs today, because we hit the high early today, for sure. But I don't think it was even up to average. Oh, it was 93, but I'd like to see what time we hit that. Let me go do a little searching here. We'll find out what time we hit that. 93 or 95 at Floresville. We hit 93 at 2:49 p.m. So it was after that we went to the 70s, obviously. And that's a little on the early side. We probably could have gotten a 94, 95 out of this afternoon if not for the clouds and rain. David Moses was leading his people through the desert for 40 years. It seems even in biblical times, men avoided asking the way. Right? I work with kids that have disabilities. Yes, Stephen, the weather changes, absolutely. I bet you experience that a lot. Atlantic seems active for the prediction of a lower than normal named hurricane season. Actually, it was a higher than average prediction, but you'll never hear me endorse hurricane prediction. I'll pull this up for you here. This was the NOAA weather forecast, 17, 9, and 4. Last year, 18, 11, 5. So it's down from last year, but it's above average. These predictions, I don't mind discussing El Nino, La Nina, what conditions are in place to maybe see a more active season or a less active season, fine. But when we talk about giving exact numbers like this, we know about hurricanes so soon before they're going to impact our lives that it really isn't something that's necessarily needed, that we have to give you an exact amount. 17 named, 9 of which become hurricanes, 4 of those 9 become Cat 3 or higher. And remember, if you look at the last 10 years, I guarantee you, these have all been within a few numbers of each other. So it's like, what's the point to me? Let's talk about the conditions that are in place, right? And just that, we're heading into neutrality. We're going to lose La Nina. We've been in a La Nina. And most predictions are that we go out of the La Nina, not necessarily into El Nino rather, but go into a neutrality in between both of the warming and cooling of the Pacific waters. Something interesting too that came out, by the way, we did get our second named storm. I've got to update. Oh, we did already. Okay. Chantal will be the next named storm on the list. Then Dexter, Aaron, Fernan, Gabriel, Umberto. That one sounds rough, right? So yeah, it's there was a story today about satellite technology being compromised, and that NOAA decided is going to take some of our satellites offline They've delayed that. It was going to happen tomorrow, and it's all in hopes of securing these networks that run these satellites. It's a cybersecurity issue is why they're going to take these satellites offline. Well, it's a dangerous situation in the sense that these are critical satellites and getting some critical data, on hurricanes, okay? But remember this, it's not the only data. These aren't the only hurricane satellites, weather satellites that NOAA's got up there. So it's not as though the entire network is going to be down for a little while. But they've delayed taking these satellites offline until the end of July. Here's the good news. Hopefully, if they do it, I wish they wouldn't have delayed it, in a sense that the most active time of hurricane season is mid-August to mid-September. Let's make sure everything's up and we've got as many satellites on the Atlantic, Caribbean, and Gulf as possible during that 4-week stretch, because historically that's when we see the most hurricanes form. So we'll see what happens. Right now it's been delayed, so that's good news in one small sense. You know, I just don't see why not do it early, you know, when the season's not as rambunctious. All right, so here's future. Let's see what it looks like currently. That's pretty good. It's initializing well as the radar's now clear. Just showing a few light showers there. Really nothing to worry about. I mean, this is initializing well. We start tomorrow morning with a few more sprinkles in the hill country, and then it's still sticking with some heavy rain developing once we get to sunrise southwest of us, Carrizo Springs up to Del Rio, through the midday hours of Tuesday. And then daytime heating hours is when we see a couple of isolated thunderstorms move in 2, 3, 4 p.m. through the city. There goes rush hour once again, right in there between 4 and 6, and pretty heavy rain. And then you can see it's East Bexar County tomorrow, which would be nice, 5 to 6 p.m., and maybe upwards of about half an inch of rain, like we saw in some spots today. And then tapering off, but still raining in some areas late tomorrow night. And then this third batch, I'll call it, it comes in Wednesday morning. And this has greatly shifted. You know, last run this afternoon had early morning heavy to the west and just kind of clipping San Antonio. Now it's got more heavy East Bexar County up I-35 through sunrise. And then things pick up out to the west. Big surge of rain. Midday, and then scatter. There's some good heavy rain for rush hour Wednesday. So Wednesday looks like the most rainfall as far as, you know, a 24-hour rainfall total. But let's see what the other models are suggesting. So that is the graph, which does a wonderful job. Let's take a look at the HER and see how that does. I guess the Sahara dust still out there. A little bit, Karen. The rain helped a lot today, but it does look, though, the coming days, it looks as though it goes more into East Texas. We can take a look after this. I wanted to, side by side, take a look at our next model, the HRRR, and you can see also initializing okay, you know. The radar's clear right now, but it's just got that light rain. So tomorrow morning, very similar to what we saw on the graph. Most of the rain out west, just kind of clipping San Antonio according to the HER. Not really ever seeing heavy rain move into the city until Wednesday, really. But it's there. Interesting. Why is that cutting off like that? I don't know why that graphic is doing that. Can't use that. So we'll stick with the one that brought us. Always doing a good job. Graph has been performing really well. How many models do we use, and which one do you see as being the most accurate? JJ, great question. Usually I stick to about 3. There's more than 3 operational models to look at, but the 3 that I like looking at the most are, and these are high resolution. We're talking about the graph, which is the IBM model, the company that provides us this software to make this graphic presentation for television on air ready, is the one that designed their own model, and that's called the Graph. Does a really good job. And then the HRRR is the other one, and then the NAM, the North American model. Those 3 high-res models are the ones I kind of stick with. Global models, when we want to look farther out, we look at the European and we look at the GFS. And then there's several others that, you know, you just kind of put side by side, but those five are really the primary ones, you know, as far as what we look at on a daily basis. And it really does change. I would say the graph has done an exceptional job as of late. But sometimes it just depends on the weather system. They all perform just a little bit differently with each given system. All right, so yeah, see the Monday coverage? Well, again, rain helped us a lot today. And then as you get into Tuesday, you can still see a good amount across the area. Going into Wednesday, it's really East Texas that's got most of this Saharan dust, with San Antonio on the western edge of this plume, I'll call it, and then getting a little surge on the 4th. Look at that, 4th of July even has a little bit. So most of this week, I would say we're going to keep an eye out for Saharan dust. It just doesn't look as though it's going to be as thick and as big a problem as it could have been. All right, 14-day forecast. Let's take a look, shall we? As we expect some rain again through Wednesday morning, even into Wednesday afternoon. About a 20% chance right now, but that could go up considering what I just saw. That looked pretty healthy. And then we're down, once we get to Thursday, to 20% and only 10% on the 4th and the 5th of July. And then temperatures are creeping up. Notice that we go 97 by Saturday the 5th, upper 90s to start next week. And then some triple digits in the forecast, the 10th and the 12th. We're expecting at least 100 degrees on your thermometer. So please remember Project Cool. We still have the dog days of summer to come. Remember, we don't get our hottest until the first 2 weeks of August. So we still have a good ways to go, and our average high will be at that point 97. That's when the demand on fans is going to really pick up late July, early August. So please, if you can, grab a new box fan and bring it to any San Antonio fire station, and we'll take it from there. Nothing bad in the horizon, Drew. We're quiet. Karen, you're very welcome. Right? Goodbye, June. Hello, July. June went so quickly. And we get to tomorrow, and we are halfway through 2025. I don't know about you, but time every year is going faster, right? It's like, why are things speeding up? When do we get 32? That's going to be a minute. That's going to be a little while, Drew. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful Monday night and an even better Tuesday. God bless you, and I will see you on Ken's 5 News at 10.